and welcome to Sarah's video on sharing a folder in Google Shared Drives. Google Drive will allow you to share documents and information in many forms. One easy way to make a large amount of documents available to your class is to create a folder on your personal drive and turn link sharing on. This way you can just add documents and subfolders to the appropriate folder and know that your students will have access to it. I strongly suggest adding copies of your documents and not the originals, and I'll go over this later in the video. In case you don't know how to make a copy, you just right-click on whatever document that you want and go make a copy. Depending on how large or small the file is, it will take a long or short amount of time to do the actual copy. So let's show you how to create a folder and share it. We're going to want to make sure that we're in My Drive, not in the shared drives. And then you can either right-click up here and create a new folder, or somewhere loose on the blank space here, create new folder. And we're just going to want to call this Testing Sharing. Now that we've got our folder, we can double-click on it to get into it. You can organize it in whatever way you want. Maybe you're going to do it week by week. So we'll call this one week 1. You're going to see we've got the file path, My Drive, and then Testing Sharing. We're going to click on the drop-down arrow next to this, and it'll give us some options. We want to look at the Share option. Oops, helps if you click on the right one. So if you just want to share your folder with a couple of people, you can enter their email addresses in here and then click Done. But since we're talking about sharing with a large amount of people, doing that just isn't feasible. So here we can click on Advanced. As you'll see, it's private so that only you have access, but we're going to change that. The first two options you're definitely going to want to ignore. Public on the web means that anyone can search for this folder, go in it, and look at the contents. The second one will allow anyone who has the link to view the contents. They don't necessarily need to have a Google or UAlberta sign-on. With this option, anyone at the University of Alberta can search for and find this folder. So the option we want to pick is anyone at the University of Alberta with the link. So that puts as much security on it as we can because they have to have a CCID with the U of A, and they have to be given the link, whether by yourself or by a friend. So now that we've selected the right option, we're going to look down here, Access. So currently the default is anyone with whatever one of these you choose can view only, and that's the option that we want to have. With this, can organize, add and edit. Students can rearrange the folder, add things to it, change things. So generally speaking, you just want them to view the contents that are in there. Once you're happy with this, we'll hit Save. And now you can see here, it's changed to anyone at the U of A who has the link can view. So we're done here. Now, to be able to share this folder with your students, you need to get them the link. So there's a couple ways you can do this. Either way, it starts with us clicking Get Shareable Link. So it automatically copies the link to your clipboard, but if you're paranoid like me, you can click on the link once and copy it, just to be sure. So you could, of course, send an email out or an announcement out to all of your students, but I find the best way is to create a new activity so that it's always on their eClass site and they don't have to worry about finding the announcement or email later on. So we're going to go all the way to the very bottom after we've clicked Add an Activity or Resource, and we're going to select URL. We're going to call this the same thing we called the folder for right now, Testing Sharing, and we'll paste the link in here. You're going to want to go down to the Appearance tab also and make sure you select New Window so that when they click on the link, it doesn't take them out of eClass. That's all we need to do for now, so we're going to save and return to the course. I can see it right here, Testing Sharing, so let's test it out. And as you can see, it brings you to the main page of your folder. Students can now go wherever they need to find the information that you've made available to them. The most important thing to keep in mind with this form of sharing is that as long as link sharing is active, the students can continue to access this even after they've left your course. As long as they have the link and they still have a valid CCID, they can get into it at any time. So there's a couple of things we can do. One option is to just turn sharing off again at the end of the semester. So we would just go back to the share button and back down to advanced. We're going to change this to the very bottom, off. And now you can see it's back to saying private, only you can access. So you can click done. Your students no longer have access to it. You can make whatever changes you need to and then turn sharing back on for the next semester. Or another more permanent way is to just delete the folder completely. And this way, if anyone clicks on that link afterwards, it'll just take them to a broken page, which I'll show you in a second. Now, it just depends on what you're going to want to do next semester. If your documents are basically staying the same, deleting this entire folder probably isn't a good idea, because then you're going to have to set it all up again next semester. So you're probably just going to want to turn the sharing off. But if maybe this was a lark or something you just wanted to try, or if you're going to revise your content completely for the next semester, then feel free to just delete the folder and create a new one when you're ready to. So let's go over that. I'm just going to right click on this testing sharing folder and go remove. And now it's been completely deleted. So now when I click on this link, it still brings me to my trash because I'm the owner of this folder and I'm not in an incognito tab. But as you can see, the folder is in my trash. So I'm going to hit cancel here and go back to my drive. So thank you very much for watching the video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching.